What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Just Cuz TV channel. This week, we have our Week 14 NFL Pick'ems and Survivor picks at the start of the Fantasy Football Playoffs coming at you this week. As always, I'm joined in these videos by my good buddy, Jeff. What's going on, man?
Not much, buddy. How you doing?
It's Wednesday. Going to get back on actual schedule this week, I think, so that's going to be really cool. No weird Tuesday or Wednesday games, so we'll see what happens. And as usual, joined by my special guest, Dr. West. What's going on, man?
How's it going, great grandpappy Anthony?
I like the grandpappy instead of, there's a nice touch, a little flavor to my my now non-genderless role, apparently. Well, guys, Week 14, Fantasy Football Playoffs are here. Last month of the regular season, playoffs for these guys are on the corner as well. You want to see what we all did last week?
You betcha.
All right, let's take a look. Here are the results. I'm going to skip by this page, I think, at this point.
No. You guys made me wallow in my sadness last week, so let's all take a look at it.
Yeah, there's not much to write home about on that far left-hand side, but Dr. West, another dub. There's a lot of green over there in that column.
A lot of green.
Not a fan of that, but congratulations, sir.
Thank you,
congratulations.
sir.
With 10.
Yes, congratulations. Well done.
You've been hovering between 8, 9, and 10 since week 3. I mean, there's a measure of consistency that comes with Dr. West. So
that's right. And my just to toot my own horn a little bit, my Dr. West locks of the week have just been pounding lately. I wish I was in a state where I could make those bets. I would be a rich man right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can keep it going this week.
Yeah. If you guys haven't yet, Dr. West's lock of the week has hit literally 90% of the time, I would think. Maybe even more than that, to be 100% honest.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And then unfortunately for our challenger last week, Civilian Jimmy had to win the prior week. Did not do so well this week. Dr. West beat our only challenger. So if you guys haven't yet, or if you're new to the channel and you're just coming over from all the other videos that I post on here, Dr. West throws down a gauntlet to you guys in the comments every single week. All you got to do is outpick Dr. West. That's all you got to do.
You got to do.
That's
so easy.
simple.
Don't just pick 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
All right. So we had last. I got my little light shining.
Let's see it.
Oh. All right. So this is the one from last week. Lamar's Got Game Mosaic, nice and shiny.
Sick.
This week I'm adding another one because that's what I do when people don't beat me. It's because it's a trash stealer that I don't want in my house. His name is Troy Polamalu. This is his Hall of Fame Mosaic. Just get him out of my house, somebody.
Please.
So somebody beat me so I can get this out of my house.
Yeah, rubbing salt in that Steelers wound that is gashed open by the Washington football team this past week. Get in the comments, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got videos coming at you every week, including the playoffs right around the corner here. Let's get into it, though, guys. You ready to go with a Thursday night game this week, believe it or not? We're back on schedule. We've got the 6-6 New England Patriots traveling to the 8-4 Los Angeles Rams. The Patriots the Rams a 5-point home favorite here with an over-under at 44.5 for a Thursday night game. 2 defensive teams. But guys, New England has officially re-entered the playoff conversation, having won 4 of their last 5, and they're on the back of a 45-0 decimation of the Chargers in a game where, yet again, Cam Newton threw for less than 100 yards, but picked up 2 rush touchdowns. That's kind of been his whole game this year. Passing, though, won't get any easier against the Rams defense that allows the fewest passing yards per game, as well as the 3rd fewest rush yards per game in the NFL. And on top of that, they've won 3 out of their last 4 to lead the NFC West. Jeff, every week we kick it off with you, man. Who you got in this huge Thursday night matchup?
Is Anthony Lynn coaching this Los Angeles team?
I don't think so. Thankfully for them.
Then I'm going to go with Sean McVay and the Rams here. I just think it's telling that the Chargers, despite the fact that they have such a dynamic offense, were not able to put up a single point against the Patriots. Now, you could say that that's all because of the GOAT coach in Bill Belichick, but I think that's more on Anthony Lynn. How he's still coaching boggles the mind. Sean McVay is an offensive mastermind. I think he comes up with the game plan that's going to put up enough points that you're going to have to make Cam Newton throw the ball, and I don't think Jalen Ramsey or Aaron Donald are going to take any mercy on Cam Newton, so give me the Rams here.
Taking the Rams, Dr. West. Are you going to agree with Jeff here in Game 1?
I will. I think that John Q. Public is going to be on the Patriots after watching them just dismantle the Chargers and look good doing it. And people like to bet the Patriots, and they like to think that, I mean, they are probably the best team that's been a team in our generation of fans. So it's easy to bet them, and I just think that this is the time that Vegas is going to make up a lot of money with a lot of money on the Patriots. I think the Rams will beat them soundly.
Soundly?
Mm-hmm.
I'm offended by your tone, sir. Offended.
I'm just going to refer you to the scoreboard.
Very true. No surprise here. As the resident Patriots fan of the group, I'm rolling with the Patriots. So, since the Jets somehow put up 27 points on the Patriots about a month ago, they have allowed an average of only 15 points per game, and that includes games against the Ravens, Texans, Cardinals, and Chargers. 4 decent offenses. They're not going to knock your socks off every single week, but I wouldn't say those are bottom barrel offenses. The defense is getting right at the right time of year. The playoff push is on. Patriots fan, yeah, I'm a homer, man. I'm going with the Pats. Let's go. It's going to be a repeat of the Super Bowl, and we're going to see something like 3-0 at halftime and a very low scoring game. I think there's going to be a lot of rushing here, not a lot of pass attempts, and we'll see what happens, I guess. Go Pats. Let's go.
No.
Good luck.
On the island to lead off, which did not go well for me last week. That will take us to our Cincinnati Bengals, guys, in Game 1 on Sunday. The 3-9 Dallas Cowboys travel to the 2-9-1 Cincinnati Bengals. Dallas, a 3-point road favorite. 43.5 is the over-under here. But, guys, if there were 2 teams that have gone more backwards than these 2 teams this year, just let me know what they are, because I don't know what they are. Dallas is coming off a 34-17 loss to the Ravens last night, while Cincinnati, they lost Joe Burrow. They've lost 4 in a row. They're only averaging about 10 points a game in those 4 losses, coming off a 19-7 loss to the Dolphins. So, Dr. West, in Crap Bowl 2020, who crushes their early draft placement with a win here?
I got to tell you, this is not a game that I would be interested in seeing. Talk about no implications aside from maybe to ensure that the Bengals get that blue chip left tackle out of Oregon. I do think that the Bengals are going to win, though. The Cowboys coming off a short week going on the road. I don't know. I think Jerry Jones was like shaking hands with Dez Bryant, who's like a COVID guy now. He's going to just spread it through the Cowboys locker room. So yeah, I think in a weird week, short week for the Cowboys, the Bengals will prevail.
Okay, Jeff.
And I don't pick the Bengals often.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm kind of shocked, honestly. Andy Dalton revenge game, though, Jeff. What are you taking here?
First, I got to know what Wes is drinking that he picked the Bengals.
Yeah, what do you have?
Is that moonshine this week? Or
Lagunitas IPA.
He spiked it with moonshine. Before you make your pick, Jeff, we got to know what you're drinking as well here. It might answer some questions.
Three Floyds Alpha Claws.
Oh, that's solid.
Season.
It is the Christmas season. Happy holidays to everybody. And to you at Ryan Geist, I've got Cloud Harvest 3 IPA. Very, very delicious. Ryan Geist.
Why are they not sponsoring us
up
yet?
I know. Ryan Geist, I'm hitting you up on Twitter, y'all. Would love to drink all of your beer while we do all these picks and all that wonderful stuff. But Jeff, Andy Dalton revenge game?
Well, I think he's going to get it. So it's Andy Dalton again versus, I don't know, is Brandon Allen going to be healthy enough, or are we seeing the Walmart version of Andy Dalton and Ryan Finley? Either way, this Bengals team is coming apart at the seams. Not only do they lack the talent on the offensive line to protect the quarterback, but the coaching staff seems to have no control over their players at this point. For anyone that watched the game last week, just a horrendous personal foul on a punt return from
Mike Thomas.
Mike Thomas, not to be confused with the Saints wide receiver, but just completely laid him out. I mean,
twice,
yeah. I mean, this staff has seemed to lost control of the team. So not only are they down Joe Burrow, but they seem to be a rudderless ship at this point. I don't think the Cowboys scare anyone, but they at least have some semblance of order over on that sideline. So I think Dallas wins this by way more than 3.5.
Yeah, Jeff, really quick before I throw my pick in here. I know I asked you a couple weeks ago. Still thinking Zach Taylor is a good fit, or you want to see more with Burrow maybe?
No, he needs to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never really like the hire. Again, I'm a Cincinnati Bearcats fan. I remember the one year he was the offensive coordinator here, and never really impressed me. He always reminded me of Dave Shula 2.0, a young guy with not a lot of credentials that the Brown family could get on the cheap. Despite the injuries, last week's game was an abomination. He's lost control of his team. He needs to go immediately.
Yeah, I think I can't remember who it was, someone on the defensive line stepping on somebody last week. I think there's a video that came out with that too.
That was Sean Williams. He's a safety, yeah.
Yeah, it's this team. Oh my gosh. I'm not picking the Bengals anymore this year. They're bad. Zach Taylor, maybe in a different lifetime, this would have worked out. Not in this one. But guys, Dallas at 3-9, shockingly, sits only 2 games back from the NFC East lead in a playoff spot. Technically, they're still in the playoff race. It's not like Washington or the Giants have a cake schedule to end the year by any means. So if Dallas can pick up a game here and sit 1 game back with 3 to play, you never know what will happen in this horrible division. So they are still in the playoff race. If you guys watched that game on Tuesday as well, that game, they lost by 17, but it was a lot closer than you might think with a Hail Mary that was dropped by CeeDee Lamb at halftime. Went right through his hands. I think it actually hit him in the hands. There's a touchdown. And then 3 missed field goals by Zuerlein. So you think a touchdown and 9 points from field goals. This is a whole brand new game, y'all. So would have been a whole different story. Game that was a lot closer than I think people think it actually was. Dallas is here. They still want to try to win. They have an outside chance of the playoffs. So I think the Bengals know that the season's over and they're going to move on. Hopefully from Zach Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. Please. But knowing the Brown family, he'll get another 12 years.
Yeah, extension. You won 2.5 games this year. Extension. Well done. You did it. Let's get away from that crap bowl, and why not? Let's go with crap bowl 2.0 here. The 4-8 Texans are traveling to the 5-7 Chicago Bears. The Bears, again, not a favorite. This is like 7 of the last 8 weeks. They've been an underdog. 45 is the over-under here. So despite having no depth at wide receiver, Deshaun Watson is still trying to find a way to win these games with yet another 300-plus yard outing against the Colts last week and the 26-20 loss. A game where they had the ball on Indy's 7, but a fumbled snap saw the Colts, take one away from the Texans there at the end of the game. Meanwhile, Chicago has now lost 6 in a row after their fraudulent 5-1 start to the season, losing to the Lions of all teams, 34-30, after they just fired Matt Patricia. This should have been a game that was won by the Bears, and they couldn't even do that. Jeff, Crap Bowl 2.0, who you got?
Oh, wow, this is a tough one. I guess I'll go with the Bears. How much are the Bears kicking themselves in the ass right now? They passed on Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes for Mitch Trubisky. But the offenses look better with Mitch under center. I never thought I'd say that, but I guess when the alternative is Nick Foles, it's kind of hard not to improve on that. And David Montgomery's actually looked like a decent starting running back the past few weeks. They still have Allen Robinson. I don't know if Kiki QT can keep up that kind of pace. And David Johnson, I don't really think he's a very good running back. The Texans defense, they don't impress me either. So I figure the Bears got to win one eventually, and they're at home, so give me the Bears.
Taking the Bears. All right, Dr. West, side with the Bears also?
I don't know what to do with this game. I've thought about it a lot. I am happy that the Texans have to win out. They have to win every single game for me to lose my bet of 7.5 on the under this year. So I'm feeling good about that. But I think they're going to win this game in a close, boring game. But Deshaun Watson is the X factor in this game. He's by far the best player on the field, and so we say that every week though, and it doesn't work out. So it probably won't work out this week. But I just have faith that they can beat this bad Chicago team.
Are you looking at my notes again, man? Jeez.
What does it say?
It literally says Matt Nagy is incompetent and Deshaun Watson is better than both Foles and Trubisky. That's my analysis of this game. I've picked Houston so much this year, and it's one of the reasons why I'm losing to Dr. West. I'm 0-5 picking the Bengals by myself. Just horrible picks overall, but just what do you do with a dead horse? You beat it.
0-2 with the Jets, at least.
0-2 with the Jets now. Yeah, there are so many.
I can't wait till we get to that game. So.
Oh, don't you worry. Yeah, I've got some choice words. Taking the Texans in another breaker of ties. This is good. We got some. We're not all on the same page this week. I like that. It mixes up a little bit. Splitting it, leaving Jeff on the Chicago Bears. We've all had an island so far. We're 3 games in. Me, the Patriots. Bengals, Dr. West. Jeff, the Bears. Let's go.
feel like I'm on the worst island here, but whatever.
Taking the Bengals, yeah. Not the best island to be on. Over under 45 in this game. Dr. West, I know you mentioned it's going to be slow. Let's touch on this really quick. How do you see this game going?
Yeah, I don't know what the weather's supposed to be in Chicago, but this seems like it's going to be a cold Chicago game that David Montgomery will run a lot and run down the clock on this bad Texans D. And it's probably David Johnson and his jazzy scooter going to be out catching some dump offs. So I'm going to take the under.
He's going to bedazzle his helmet too, man. He's going to be out there with his sticker and whatnot. What do you call it? The handicap sticker.
That little flag on the back of his scooter.
Yeah. Jeff, over under 45. What are you thinking?
I'm definitely going under here as well. No, I mean, Deshaun Watson's amazing, but who's he throwing the ball to? It's a shame Will Fuller, just when he was like blowing up, had to go and take some PEDs. But yeah, this is definitely an under, especially if the weather's.
That's why he was blowing up, though.
Yeah,
that's
it was keeping him healthy.
You notice he always had injury problems till like this year.
Yeah.
And then he was taking those PEDs, and miraculously he was healthy.
Yeah, it was a low-grade beaver tranquilizer, I believe.
What can you expect from a former Notre Dame Fighting Irish player?
Shots fired. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to take the push. 24-21 Texans in this game. Push it. Let's go. 24-21 Houston. That will now take us to Kansas City going to the Miami Dolphins. Kansas City's 11-1. Just insane. Miami, maybe a surprising 8-4 here with Kansas City a 7-point road favorite. Over under set at 49.5 as of right now. And I forgot to mention to y'all, our odds lines come from DK Sportsbook. They will change as the week goes on, of course. This is how they are on Wednesday night. And all of our picks are straight up. Not spread picks. They are straight up picks. We're picking the winner of the game. Keeping it simple for you. All right, Kansas City at Miami. Kansas City almost looks unstoppable at this point for real guys. Picking up their 7th win in a row, defeating the Broncos 22-16. And yet another close one, though. Their last 4 wins have come by an average of only 3.75 points. They're all close. All these wins are close. Speaking of hot, Miami has won 7 of their last 8. Their only loss was to the Broncos. And in their last 4, they are only allowing an average of 13 points a game, shutting down opposing offenses. Something's got to give here, Dr. West, for one of these win streaks. Who wins the battle in Miami?
I think you have to take the Chiefs. I am intrigued by that -7 line. Well, really, I should say the +7 for the Dolphins. But like you said, Kansas City's just playing a lot of close games, and I honestly think it's because they just don't care that much. They know they're going to be in the playoffs. They know that they are probably the best team in the league, and they can turn it on whenever they want to. They can just kind of idly go through the game and not have to try that hard. So I think that the Chiefs will win in a relatively close game going on the road in Miami.
Yeah, going back to that point, their last 4 games have been decided by an average of 3 3/4 points or something like that. So 7 with already a good defense at home. Love the +7. We'll get that here in a second. Jeff, who are you taking?
If Fitzmagic was starting, I would be inclined to actually go on the island because I'm sure you're going to pick Kansas City here too. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, but if Fitzmagic...
Oh, he muted himself.
Jeff, you muted yourself.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
All right. If Fitzmagic was starting, I would be inclined to pick the Dolphins here because, like you said, they've been in so many close games. I mean, that game against the Broncos last week, it wasn't for some bonehead plays by Drew Lock. I think that the Broncos could have actually pulled away in this one. And I think the defense in Miami is much better than the Broncos D. But I just don't trust Tua at this point. So despite the fact that I think it's not going to – they're definitely not going to cover. The Chiefs are definitely not going to cover. But Tua going up against Patrick Mahomes, that's just a mismatch. So in a close game, give me Kansas City.
Yeah, dude, said it perfectly. Tua, is not passing the eye test for me. Something looks off. I don't think he's not playing bad. He's not throwing 4 interceptions a game at all or anything like that. Something's just not there. A lot of high passes. We saw against the Bengals, a lot of high passes to Devontae Parker. Typically,
missed a couple of them in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. If that was Fitzpatrick, those are probably completions, to be 100% honest. Kansas City's going to win this game, but again, probably something like 4 points, 24-20. something along those lines. Miami does have a good defense. They're at home. I think they're going to rely on Myles Gaskin in this game, who's back, looked pretty good last week, getting healthy. I'm going to take the Chiefs, but again, close game. Miami +7 seems like a lot for a team that's at home. So love the +7 there. Not Dr. Boss lock of the week, but
Nope.
Not yet. We will get there.
Not yet.
Kansas City with the sweep. That gets us to, this is a fun one, guys. Look at this. 6-6 Arizona traveling to the 5-7 New York Giants. Arizona, roughly a field goal road favorite here in the Meadowlands, 45.5 over under. I don't know what Arizona is doing to me, but I don't like it very much, to be 100% honest. They have now lost 3 games in a row after their 38-28 loss to the Rams, and they get to go back on the road yet again against the absolutely red-hot Giants, who have actually won 4 games in a row to take the lead in the NFC East. The Colt McCoy led Giants were able to knock off Seattle in Seattle 17-12, which literally no one saw coming. I guarantee it. So, Jeff, will either team's current winning or losing streak come to an end? Who's going to rebound here?
I'm going to go with the Giants here. I think you're going to go with a hot team. I don't know if the Colt McCoy era is the reason that they're surging, but maybe the Wayne Gallman era has actually been a reason that they're able to be a competent offense. I think that's what they're going to try and channel the ball through, is their running game, which has actually been pretty successful. And I think the Giants' defense is underrated. And again, I said it last week, Kyler Murray does not look right. That shoulder, to me, is not where it needs to be. And essentially, if you're taking away his ability to scramble, his ability to extend plays with his legs because he's afraid of getting hurt, taking a big shot, then he's just a pedestrian passer. So I think the Giants have a pretty solid defense. And if you look at their schedule, pretty much every game they've been in all year, they've been competitive. They rarely get blown out. They're playing at home. They're coming off a big win. So I'm going with the upset here and picking the Giants.
Taking the Giants. Well, Dr. West, really quick, I'll let you break this tie. I'll go ahead and give my spiel here really quick. We'll mix things up here. I honestly just don't have it in me to pick the Giants in this game. Obviously, I came into the year as a Cardinals fan. I still remember the 2007-2008 season with the Giants and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I can't pick the Giants. Although, the Cardinals, they are one Hail Murray away from being 5-7 as well with the Giants. That Bills game. Not much separating these two teams, but Daniel Jones is optimistic for a return to this game. We'll see what happens. I'm taking the Cardinals. And Dr. West, break this tie for us, man.
I've been wrong about the Giants a lot this year, and I may be wrong about them again, but I just don't think they're actually real. I don't think they're actually a good team. And I do think that the Cardinals are a good team. I know Jeff brings up good points about Kyler and his shoulder. He has not looked the same, but I have to believe that they can somehow beat this bad Giants team. So give me the Cardinals.
Cardinals leaving Jeff out on the Giants Island. It's better than the Jets Island, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Anything's better than that island. I think you've learned that lesson.
That's my feelings are hurt because of the Jets. I feel personally attacked. I can't take any team that plays in the same stadium as them, like the Giants. So, Jeff, New York Giants Island. That will take us to the 6-6 Minnesota Vikings traveling to the 7-5, fresh off their bye, their Week 13 bye, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa about a touchdown home favorite here with an over of 51.5. Just like the Patriots, though, guys, Minnesota has re-entered themselves back into the playoff race now at 6-6 on the back of Kirk Cousins' third straight 300-plus yard and 3 pass touchdown performance. They have won 5 out of their last 6 to actually currently occupy that 7th seed in the playoffs over Arizona, which is a playoff spot this year. They are in the playoffs as of right now. Tampa Bay coming off their bye, but prior to that had lost 2 in a row, with both losses being 27-24 to the Rams and the Chiefs. Dr. West, you've been pretty anti-Tampa Bay so far this year. Can they turn it around at home?
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. I have thought that they are fraudulent all year. I still think they're fraudulent, but I do think that the Vikings are even worse. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I would say that the one thing that the Bucks have going for them is that they have a really good run defense. It's like sneaky good, and I think they'll be able to kind of bottle up Dalvin Cook, and then so you're asking Kirk Cousins to win a game for you with his arm. And even though you said he's been good lately, I just believe that he is not good. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Taking the Bucks. Jeff, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going with West there. I just don't think that they're going to get that ground game established. Dalvin Cook's going to be bottled up. The reason Kirk Cousins has had so much success is Justin Jefferson has just been amazing. Adam Thielen, also a steady wide receiver. But at the end of the day, they're going on the road. Tampa's rested. Brady's so old. He needed that week to, put some Zorbine Jr. on his joints and get ready to go. But I just can't pick against Tampa here. It's been a good run, but Kirk Cousins' streak of 300 yard plus games comes to an end this week.
Brady actually just eats babies to get energy.
Yes,
himself young.
Yes, he's part of that QAnon conspiracy. That's actually
well, I don't know if you guys saw this, but as part of Tom Brady's oldness, he now owns a yacht. Yeah, he is now the new owner of a yacht on his bye week. He's ready to be retired now, it feels like at this point. In his house.
Oh, he's living in Derek Jeter's house in Tampa.
Yes, yeah. And apparently someone broke in and slept on his couch last week. So
wouldn't you? I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, if I'm going to break into Tom Brady's house, I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, exactly. If you're walking by Tom Brady's house, like, yo, I got to get in there and check this out.
Yeah, what kind of couch does he have? Is it comfortable? Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are questions I have to ask if I'm going to break into Tom Brady's house.
Exactly.
But speaking of Tom Brady, the man does not lose 3 games in a row. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. The last time that it happened, actually, guys, was 2002. That was 18 years ago. He has not lost 3 in a row in 18 years. Not going to do it here. Minnesota allows the 6th most passing yards per game. Tampa has the wide receivers to punish this horrible, non-existent Minnesota secondary. Tom is mad, and when Tom is mad, Tom wins. Tom is going to take all of his bye week frustrations and loss frustrations out on the Vikings. It's not going to be pretty. 45-17 Tampa Bay. Let's go.
Whoa.
Wow, that's big.
Let's go. Crushing. That will now take us to 2 teams that are 4-8. Denver traveling to Carolina. Carolina, a field goal home favorite. 46.5 is the over-under here. The wheels, though, have absolutely fallen off in Denver with losses in 4 of their past 5 after a 22-16 loss to the Chiefs. Get this, guys. On the year as a whole, Drew Lock has only 9 passing touchdowns to 13 interceptions, with 5 of those touchdowns occurring in 2 fourth quarters. So he's really got 4 touchdowns in 10 games. Not good. He's just not getting it done. Meanwhile, the Panthers, who are also coming off a very strange Week 13 bye, sit nearly at the bottom of the NFC and actually sport a minus 20 point differential on the year. Not as bad as you might think, despite the record. They are 2-5 in 7-point games this year. So the close games, they are just not winning. Jeff, can Carolina, win at home, or will Denver pick up the road win?
No, I'm going to go with Carolina here. Teddy Bridgewater has been adequate, not great, but they've had some success in the passing game. Now they may be missing DJ Moore with the COVID protocol. I think he's still on the list and probably will not make the game. But Curtis Samuel's also a little banged up, but they may get McCaffrey back. I know that's kind of up in the air. So I don't know. It's tough for me to pick Vic Fangio on the road with Drew Lock as his quarterback, and it's not like they got a stellar running game. AJ Boye, I believe, was suspended for PEDs also, so they're missing their top corner. So too much going against the Broncos here to pick for them in this particular slot. So give me the Panthers.
Cool. Yeah, really quick. So I actually had these stats I looked up. Denver is 2-4 on the road. Carolina 2-4 at home. Evenly matched. I was trying to see where I could differentiate these 2 teams. Also, Dr. West, the Panthers could be without Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore due to COVID. That's huge. So, Dr. West, who are you taking?
I will take the Panthers. I think Jeff said it right. I mean, you got Vic Fangio and Drew Lock. That's like Dumb and Dumber. Just rolling into Carolina, even without Samuel and DJ Moore. Maybe it's the Robbie Anderson show. I don't know. I just believe that the Panthers are a better team, better coached, and will prevail.
That's all I got to. Yep. Matt Rule so far, better coach, I feel like. Again, the weird stat is they're 4-8, but they only have a minus 20 point differential, and just in close games they just could not get it done, unfortunately. Maybe it's just because he's a first-year coach. That'll come with time and all that. Teddy Bridgewater, again, he was a backup. Now he's leading this team. Not doing terribly, but Carolina, I think, now with Denver not having A.J. Boye, Carolina sweeps at home here. Any final thoughts on this game, guys? I think it's not much else
to
the
talk. Bengals need to hire Joe Brady, the Panthers offensive coordinator. Reunite him with Joe Burrow. That's my thought.
Yeah, Joe Brady, pair him up with Joe Burrow, and let's go.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
God bless.
Let's go to an AFC South matchup here. The 8-4 Tennessee Titans traveling to the 1-11 Jacksonville Jaguars. Tennessee, a 7-point road favorite here over under set 53. I think that's the second highest of the week. I have actually a question for myself that I'm going to answer rhetorically. Who are the Titans this year? Are they a team that loses 31-20 to the Bengals? Or are they a team that beats the Colts on the road 45-26? The answer is both. And it is incredibly frustrating with this team. They are coming off now a 41-35 loss to the Browns, where they gave up 4 passing touchdowns to Baker Mayfield just in the first half. While we all know about Jacksonville, they've lost 11 in a row now, and they are, honestly, at this point, they're praying the Jets pick up a win here, so they have the number 1 overall pick, it seems like. Dr. West, this one's still pretty easy, though, right?
I think it is pretty easy. I don't know. That +7 is enticing for the Jaguars. They keep covering these numbers because they play close games and in division at home. I think that they could pull it off. It's not my lock of the week, but I'll take the Titans, but I don't feel really good about it. But, they should beat them handedly.
You would think. Jeff, will Tennessee win handedly?
Yeah, I think they will. I shouldn't say handedly. They'll win. I think the AFC South, to answer your rhetorical question, the reason they look so good when they beat a team like the Colts is the Colts are part of the AFC South. The Colts didn't look good against the Bengals. They were down 21-0 at one point. Rarely do you see a team from the AFC South go outside of the division and really do well. I know there's been a few examples of that, but they are a good team for the AFC South. They'll beat the Jaguars because, they've got Mike Glennon starting at quarterback. He has the longest neck in the history of the NFL. He's not a very good quarterback. Gardner Minshew's been begging to get back in there, but for some reason they're reluctant to start him, maybe because they're trying to tank for Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. Can't blame them for that. But James Robinson's been a waiver wire hero for anyone that plays fantasy football, but that's not enough to overcome Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. I think Tennessee wins this.
Yeah, totally agree. All those points were perfect. Nothing much else to add here except for Jacksonville sucks and Tennessee is frustrating. I do think Jacksonville can keep this close if they can slow down Derrick Henry. Tannehill hasn't been the most effective passer, I will say, over the past month or so, but he does okay. I mean, with every single pass or every single play is a passing play like last week, he's going to look a lot better than he actually was. So Tennessee should roll this Jaguars team. And that will take us to our 4 p.m. games now with another AFC South team that we're going to talk about here, the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts traveling to the 7-5 Las Vegas Raiders. Colts, a field goal road favorite here in Vegas with an over 51.5. And just when we were trying to get away from the AFC South, the Colts are here again after defeating the Texans 26-20. And just like the Titans, I don't know who the Colts are. They feel like they should be 6-6. They now travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders, who, despite their winning record and win over the Chiefs, they actually have a minus 24 point differential on the year. Not good. Jeff, help me figure out this one, please.
This is a tough one to figure out because if it wasn't for an absolutely boneheaded play call by the former defensive coordinator of the New York Jets to go with the zero blitz on the last play of the game, Raiders would have lost to the lowly New York Jets. And your island pick from last week would have made you look like a genius. So it's hard for me to go with the team that barely, by a boneheaded coach's decision, beat the Jets. But again, the Colts are very frustrating. AFC South team. They beat up on the AFC South. That's why they're 8-4. But you know what? I'm just not a John Gruden believer. They're missing Jacobs. I don't know. Maybe he comes back to play. Booker was the hot waiver wire pickup in fantasy football. Didn't do much. So based on their performance against the Jets, even though they're at home, I'm going with the Colts here.
Taking the Colts. Dr. West, I know John Gruden has been your Coach of the Year candidate, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Taking him here?
Mm-hmm. I am. I always get the Colts wrong, so it might not be a good idea to follow me on this, but I'm frustrated by the Colts being so inconsistent, and I have faith that the Raiders are going to actually take this game seriously after kind of sleeping on the Jets, looking terrible the week prior. I think that they are a talented team that at home, I think they'll get it done in a close game.
Hopefully she'll get Josh Jacobs back. I think potentially maybe. So I'm going to throw my pick up here and then I'm going to explain. I'm not taking the Raiders because I think they'll win. I just hate these Colts. I hate them. The Colts being 9-4 gives me chills because it's like I feel like there's ghosts around because it just doesn't sound right. They were carried by a good defense early in the year that in the past 2 weeks has been absolutely shredded by Derrick Henry 2 weeks ago and shredded by Deshaun Watson, who has no wide receivers on the roster last week. Vegas, competent Derek Carr throwing to a really good Darren Waller, and maybe Josh Jacobs is back here. Screw this Colts team. I hate them. Give me the Raiders, but I don't really care who wins this game, to be 100% honest. They can both lose. I don't know.
What about T.Y. Hilton, like, coming back to life? Like, he just been nowhere. Basically.
He does that twice a year.
Yeah, I literally texted Wes on Sunday. I was like, oh, look, here's T.Y. Hilton's, 1 or 2 games a year that he does well.
Right.
Phillip Rivers cannot get him the ball consistently is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Pittman's been somewhat effective, but yeah, I mean, I don't feel good about picking the Colts here, but yeah. I don't feel good about the Raiders either. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and Rivers has an affinity for throwing to tight ends anyway, so T.Y. just doesn't pop up for me, I guess. So Either way, good luck to you, Jeff. Man, you're probably going to win this one. The Raiders and Colts suck. I hate them both. They're pissing me off. Speaking of a team that really pisses me off. Oh, Greg Williams, you suck so much ass. I can't take it. A blitz. You brought 6 people when they're 45 yards away. Okay. The Jets, they're 0-12. They're traveling to the 8-4 Seahawks. The Jets blew the lead in their Super Bowl against the Raiders, which allowed Derek Carr to hit Henry Ruggs on a go-ahead 44-yard touchdown with seconds left on the clock. The Jets suck. Get your stupid emblem off my screen. Are we all taking the Seahawks?
Yeah, but shame on the Seahawks for losing last week to the Giants. Shame.
Yeah, I mean, that's bad. What the hell's happened to Russ, man? He got off to such a hot start and just doesn't look the same. Now they're talking about being more balanced. I don't understand, like, why or what's happened to him, really. The offense was clicking for the first, 6-8 weeks, and now it just looks like it's stalled. Metcalf's still getting his, but Lockett has dropped off, and I don't know. They're kind of hard to figure out. Maybe Chris Carson, they're saying he's 100% healthy now. Maybe that's going to be the difference going forward. Regardless, they won't need him this week. This game's clearly a Seahawks victory. Yeah,
look for Russ to get right in this game. The Jets give up the second most pass yards per game. They can't defend DK Metcalf. Oh, my God. If DK Metcalf is like $8,000 or less on DraftKings, I honestly haven't looked yet. Lock him in. This is a 40 fantasy point output waiting for Metcalf here. Like 12 catches, 140 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Come on. Seattle rolls here. Jets, you fucking suck. I hate you. Let's go to the 9-3 Green Bay Packers traveling to the 5-7. Fresh off their win, Sans Matt Patricia. Lions here. Green Bay, about a touchdown road favorite. Over-under, highest of the week, set at 55 in this game. Game 1. Post-Matt Patricia was a resounding success for the Detroit Lions as they were able to defeat the Bears 34-30, but now get another NFC North matchup against the Red Hot Packers, who have now won 2 in a row and sit second in the NFC playoff race, a game behind the Saints. Detroit now, though, surprisingly sits one game behind Minnesota for the 7th seed in the NFC. So with 4 to go, the 6 and 7 seeds in the NFC are kind of wide open here. Green Bay has won 4 out of 5 with their loss being in overtime to that stupid Colts team. So Jeff, can Detroit get back into the playoff picture with a win, or will Green Bay stay hot here?
Green Bay wins. I was impressed by the showing that the Lions had last week. They got that little bump from Patricia finally being canned. That was long overdue. But the Packers are just rolling right now. Aaron Rodgers looks like he was angry all season long about how people said he was getting washed. Davante Adams, to me, is the best wide receiver in the game. The Lions defense doesn't have enough to stop them. Aaron Jones is starting to play a little bit better. I just don't think that the Lions have enough to overcome the hurdle of beating their bitter rival, the Green Bay Packers.
It's really quick. I think one of my favorite things about this whole entire NFL season is when Aaron Rodgers throws this perfect deep ball and like MVS runs under it, it bounces off his hands and he doesn't catch it. Aaron Rodgers will stand there and just stare at him for like 10 seconds. Like he's like, who the hell do you think you are dropping my pass? Like that's kind of the attitude that Aaron Rodgers has this year, and I love it.
Well, he's pissed because rather than pick a wide receiver, they drafted a quarterback to eventually replace him in the first round. Like MVS is not that great of a wide receiver. Lazard, not that great of a wide receiver. Put Marvin Jones, the Lions wide receiver 2 on that team, and he blows up. Put T. Higgins to the Bengals draft in the second round. Can you imagine T. Higgins partnered next to Davante Adams, how explosive this offense is? So I understand this frustration.
Yeah.
But despite that, they're 9-3 and then.
Yeah, Jordan Love not playing anytime soon, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Dr. West, who you got?
I'll take the Packers. I think winning against the Bears, sans Patricia is nice and all, but it's different than playing the Packers, who are just going to eat your lunch. And I think this will not be a close game. Yeah,
they're going to steal the Lions' lunch, chew it, and then spit it back in their face. Green Bay, they are averaging 32 points a game in their last 5. The offense is humming, guys. It's humming. Detroit, they've only been able to eclipse 30 points 3 times this whole season. Green Bay averaging more than 30 points a game. Rodgers rolls the Lions. Get this. He's 6-5 versus the Lions for his career. He's 7-3 in Detroit. Make it 8-3. I love Aaron Rodgers in DFS too. Let's go. Green Bay rolls here. That will take us to the 10-2 New Orleans Saints traveling to the 3-8-1 Philadelphia Eagles. New Orleans, a 7.5-point road favorite. Over under pretty low at 44.5 here. The Drew Brees Saints, they have not lost a beat, winning their 9th game in a row now by defeating the Falcons 21-16. And over their last 5 games, again, I think I mentioned this almost close to the same stat last week. Past 5 games, they're only allowing 9 points a game. Philly, on the other hand, has now lost 4 in a row, and they have announced that Jalen Hurts will start this game. Fun game to be your first career start, right, guys, against the Saints defense? Essentially confirming they now have a $100 million backup sitting on the bench. Fantastic play by Philly. Dr. West, can Philly stop the New Orleans train, or will New Orleans run Jalen Hurts out of the stadium?
I'm going to talk crazy here, and I think I'm going to take the Eagles. I would definitely take them plus 7.5. I'm thinking that maybe the Eagles that we all thought were going to be a pretty decent team at the beginning of the year, maybe now that they're not going to have 3 interceptions thrown every game, that maybe they'll be a little bit energized and come out and want to win. And the Saints basically already have their division locked up, and maybe they come in snoozing a little bit. This is one of those games. I mean, if the Giants can beat the Seahawks last week, then I do not see a reason why the Eagles can't beat the Saints this week. So I don't think it's a super high likelihood to actually happen, but when it happens, I want to be on it. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
You are in first, man, for a reason.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a little bit of wiggle room.
Yep. Jeff, who you got?
I'm so glad he's taken the Bengals, and now he's taking the Eagles. I get an opportunity to make up some ground here. I mean, I get it. Carson Wentz was a turnover machine, but Jalen Hurts' stat line from last week: 5 of 12 for 109 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
Wait,
not exactly
that was
inspiring.
Carson Wentz's stat line, right?
No, that's Jalen Hurts. But they might as well be the same person. Now, Jalen Hurts did give them some, hit 5 carries for 29 yards. So that's a dynamic that is different than Carson Wentz. But again, if you can't complete 50% of your passes, now you're playing the Saints defense. You just mentioned has been basically lights out the past few weeks. So a rookie going up against the Saints defense. The only thing that potentially we could have here is that Taysom Hill turns into a pumpkin that we think he is, and that, at the end of the day, it's Cinderella. He's been having a few good weeks, and maybe they make him turn the ball over throwing it, but that's a long shot. They still have Alvin Kamara. They still have Michael Thomas. I think the Saints win this going away. Give me the points still.
And the points. Okay. Yeah, it's Wes. I am completely shocked, honestly, that you took the Eagles here. This is not the game that you want to throw Jalen Hurts into, in my opinion. I think Doug Peterson has lost his ever-loving mind. I don't think he's a good coach anymore. I think he's a complete idiot. I think that while, yes, he has a Super Bowl ring, I think that he's the luckiest Super Bowl winning head coach in history after that Patriots Super Bowl. Just saying.
Salty.
The idiot can't.
So salty.
Yeah, the idiot can't properly utilize Miles Sanders of all people. The stupid ass idiot. I have him on my 3 fantasy teams. Jackass, Doug Peterson, idiot. He's got to go. Saints. I hope you crush this stupid Eagles team. God, I hate them. Hate you, Doug Peterson. You're next on my list, my friend. You're next. Let's go. Atlanta, traveling to the 4-8 Atlanta. I apologize. Traveling to the 3-9 Los Angeles Fighting Justin Herberts. Atlanta, a 3-point road favorite in LA. That speaks volumes from Vegas here, I feel like. 49.5 is the over-under here. After the season started 0-5 under Dan Quinn, the Falcons, they've rebounded, I feel like, a little bit. They've gone 4-3 in their last 7, with 2 of those 3 losses being to the Saints. Those were gimmies. Of course, they were going to lose that game. The other loss being that game where Todd Gurley scored against the Lions accidentally, and the Lions went down and scored on the Falcons. So Raheem Morris is at least doing something to get some wins, doing something to get points on the board. The Chargers, on the other hand, just got blown out by the Patriots 45-0 and have now lost 5 of their last 6, with their sole win being against the winless Jets, which they had to work for. Jeff, someone has to win here. Who's it going to be?
Give me the Falcons. I don't trust Anthony Lynn. He's in the argument. Vic Fangio's slightly higher tier than him, but he's like in the middle of Vic Fangio and Adam Gase. Just a terrible coach. How do you get shut out against the Patriots when you have Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen? That's just amazes me. Austin Eckler.
Eckler's back, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the weapons they have there, and you give up 45 points. Did Cam Newton cross the century mark in passing yards? I don't think he did.
69 yards.
He did not.
69 yards, and you still give up 45 points. So yeah. I think Raheem Morris, former head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucs, maybe a little bit too early for him when he got that job, but he seemed to lit a spark with the Falcons, and I think they continue to do enough here to beat the listless Sandy. Oh, there you go. The Los Angeles Chargers. Give me the Falcons.
Taking the Falcons, Dr. Wes. Who you got?
I'm going to begrudgingly take the Falcons because it never tastes good in the old mouth to take the Falcons, but against this Chargers team, as long as they're coached by Anthony Lynn, I'm never going to take them. The Dr. West lock of the week, though, is over on this 49.5. These are 2 atrocious defenses and 2 pretty high-powered offenses. I could see this turning into a track meet. So I think for sure I'd be on the over of this.
Dr. Wes, you devil, you. My note says 49.5 is not enough for this game. Holy crap. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, my note says, I think this is going to be a fun game between 2 bad teams. 49.5 is not enough. Literally word for word is what my note says. I am like, okay, so this game, right? Imagine you have 2 glasses of milk in front of you, right? They look okay. They look all right. You take a drink of one. Glug, glug, glug. Ah, it's sour as shit, right? It tastes horrible. It's bad. The other one can't be bad too, right? So you try that one. Ah, it's horrible. That's this game. It's 2 spoiled glasses of milk that you got sitting out on the counter. I'm a little worried now though because I'm also taking the Falcons. So that bodes well if you're going to bet the Chargers money line. You should probably go do that. They're at home, but this team did just play 4 quarters in this stadium less than 3 days ago or whatever, and they weren't able to score. So who knows? Anthony Lynn sucks. We say it every week. He's the reason why they will lose this game. Something like 34-30, if I had to guess. 2 bad defenses, 2 pretty okay offenses, I think, for the most part. Fun game. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be good. Jeff, do you have anything to add? Sorry, it looked like you were going to say something.
No, I just think, like, if you gave Bill Belichick the Chargers roster, he would have this team fighting for a playoff spot. There's no way that this team, with as many guys that they have, should ever lose 45-0 to anyone, let alone a team that couldn't even put up a 75 passing yards. It just amazes me that how bad things have gone. Some people are saying maybe there's tape on Justin Herbert and they're starting to figure him out. I don't think it's that. Teams do adjust, but the coaching staff has to adjust as well. It's just blowing my mind that the Chargers are this bad.
Yeah, they blew 4 16-plus point leads earlier this year.
Yeah.
That's not – and then you throw a 45-0 loss on top of that. That's not a good coaching resume to have.
Right.
You don't want that one on your LinkedIn profile. I know that much. That will take us to our last Sunday afternoon game, the 5-7. Don't look now, guys. Washington Buckeyes, as we like to call them here on the channel, traveling to the 5-7 San Francisco 49ers. Washington, they have now won 3 in a row. They have to be riding high now after they handed the Steelers their first loss of the season, 23-17 in Pittsburgh. Let's all clap. Jeff, let's go. Steelers lost. Whoa. I think I saw that, who was it? Someone for the Dolphins lit a cigar at the end of the game or whatever. Congratulations. But Washington, they now play their 3rd road game in a row, and now they travel to the West Coast where San Fran has lost 4 of their last 5. The running back group is healthy, but now they almost have too many running backs, it seems like, and they just can't find a rhythm with the run game. Dr. West, we call them your Buckeyes. Can they stay hot and beat the Niners on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I have enjoyed watching them. They're a fun team to watch. I think that these teams are really very similar. They both have strong defenses that are led by a good front 7. They have good run games, and they have like league median quarterbacks. So on paper, I think that this is going to be a very close game. I actually am going to take the 49ers.
Oh, okay.
Just being at home, Washington on a short week, traveling across the country, I think that this will be a very close game, but I'll take the 49ers.
Okay. Jeff, are you also taking the Niners?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Wes. I think there's a bit of a letdown here. They had a big win, knocking the previously undefeated Steelers off their pedestal, and they're missing a key aspect of their offense in Antonio Gibson. J.D. McKissick has done well catching the ball from Alex Smith. And Alex Smith, my God, can you believe what this man has done? 17 surgeries, almost lost his leg. Went from that to leading this team back into the playoff charge. I'm super impressed. But, again, they're on the road. Kyle Shanahan. Don't ever trust Kyle Shanahan in fantasy football when it comes to running backs. Like you said, they have too many of them. You can never trust him on that front. But they are at home, and I think that gives them the edge. Deebo Samuel finally healthy. Brandon Ayuk, they've got some weapons there that will give them just enough to make up for Mullins as their starting quarterback. And like I said, the letdown week after the big win against the Steelers, give me the 49ers.
Damn, y'all be scoping my notes. For real. My note for this game says, I think Kyle Shanahan is a good coach, and this is not a fantasy football slight by any means. But you cannot play 5 different running backs in a game, which is literally what happened this past week. You just cannot do that. You can't. It doesn't work. It will not work against a good Washington run defense that is 10th best in the NFL. They may be without Gibson for this game. It does appear he has like a really bad case of turf toe is literally what they called it. Very bad turf toe. These are two teams that like to run the ball, but I think McKissick getting on the edge against the Niners is the game changer here. He's a good change of pace back. He will catch the ball. Watch for him to have 8 or 9 catches again this game. He had 10 this past week against the Steelers. Good linebackers. San Francisco has pretty good linebackers. I think they'll get him out on the edge. All you need is 9 catches for 60 yards and move the chains on third down, and you'll be okay in this game. It happened last week. Y'all took the Niners against the Bills. I was on my own with the Bills. I'm going to take Washington in this game. I think Alex Smith has this team riding high. He's a good game manager. He's not going to turn the ball over. And he knows how to win in San Francisco. He played there a lot. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
I like it.
Go on your own with the football team.
Let's do it. The Washington Football Club is apparently the name I've seen thrown around. Washington FC.
No, that's too soccer. It's got to be FT if they're going to do it.
I agree. FT sounds better. Make it. You got to NFLize it.
Yeah. Just like Orlando and MLS is the Orlando SC Soccer Club,
Yeah.
You got to Americanize it. This isn't.
This is America.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying, this isn't the EPL. I get, the FC part, but, it just doesn't sound right.
FT Washington.
Washington FT is cool with me. I'm okay with that.
Speaking of two teams not playing soccer, then let's get to that was the worst transition I've ever come up with in my entire life. Let's get to the.
I don't know. Are they going to play soccer this weekend? Maybe that would be it.
You never know. They changed the game up on them, and we'll see what happens on Sunday Night Football here with the 11-1 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the 9-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo against a team that's 11-1 is a field goal home favorite here, over at 46.5, and what is arguably the game of the week. Let's be real. The Steelers are fresh off their first loss of the season to the Washington Buckeyes, 23-17, while Buffalo has won 5 out of their last 6, which would be 6 games in a row if not for the Hail Murray, and offer up yet another tough test for this Pittsburgh team. The Steelers allow the third fewest total yards per game, while Buffalo comes in averaging 34 points a game in their last 4, so something's got to give here. Looking forward to this Sunday night game. Jeff, you've been a Josh Allen guy this year in fantasy and in our pick'ems. Are you taking them to beat the Steelers?
I am. Like you said, I think they're just on a hot streak. They do miss John Brown, but Cole Beasley, although he plays a different role, has seemed to step up the past couple of weeks. Pittsburgh, to me, just has been playing some uninspired football. Yes, not only did they lose to Washington last week, but that game to me against Baltimore last Wednesday was a lot closer than it should have been. They do get James Conner back. That could help because their running game has really struggled. Snell got stuffed at the goal line 3 consecutive plays. Deontay Johnson has had some horrendous drops. I just think all the momentum here is with the Bills. Plus, I hate the fucking Steelers, so give me the Bills.
All right. Wes, are you hating the fucking Steelers as well?
Oh, I definitely do, but I'm going to take them to win. I know they're going to win to spite me. I don't understand how they're an underdog in this game. I know it's at Buffalo, but with no fans, I just don't see. I think this is an overreaction to a loss, and I think that the Steelers are clearly the better team. I do think that Buffalo can keep it close, but I think that the Steelers will win this game 70% of the time. So I'll take the Steelers.
Okay, thinking the Steelers are clearly the better team. Jeff, are you offended by these comments?
No, I'm not. I think he has some good points, especially with the Steelers' defensive line. I think he's going to give the Bills' offensive line some fits, and that's been the thing that's hurt Josh Allen is when teams put pressure on him. I just can't find it in my heart to pick the Steelers. And Josh Allen, admittedly, is my spirit animal, so I agree with all the analysis that Wes says, but I just can't do it. So
all right, totally fair. Breaker of Ties is back. Let's go. So, NFL memes. They posted a picture, like a little meme. They're NFL memes, right? Of Pittsburgh's wins this year and who they were against. If you haven't seen it, it's actually quite funny. And most of the stuff they post there is kind of crap. But it was they had a win against the Ravens practice squad 2 weeks ago, barely. They beat the Bengals, Jags, Cowboys. They beat the Browns, and they didn't have Nick Chubb. And I'm honestly buying that. They really have played lackadaisical, lackluster, Jeff said uninspired football over the past couple of weeks, and it resulted finally in a loss this week. Had Lamar Jackson been healthy for the Ravens, that game may have went differently. Unfortunately, we'll never know. The Steelers team, to me, they haven't really necessarily gotten lucky. They are very good. I picked them to win the AFC North in the preseason. I know they are good. This is a test. This is this is the barometer game for both of these teams. Is Pittsburgh gotten lucky, and can they beat the Bills, or is Buffalo legit enough to beat this Buffalo defense or the Steelers defense and put some points up on them like they have the past 4 weeks? Love this game. We get a really good Sunday night football game. Looking forward to watching this one.
I'm alone with an 11-1 team, so
yeah,
that's not a bad feeling at all. I trying to make up for you going alone on the Bengals earlier, so compensation.
Bengals and the Eagles, but now he's taking the Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wes, you're a tricky animal over there, man. Tricky. All right, our last game of the week on this back to normal schedule, Monday Night Football, AFC North football. We've got the 7-5 Baltimore Ravens traveling to the 9-3 Cleveland Browns, guys. When was the last time we saw a winning record for them? 10 years ago? What is this?
2002, I think.
Is that, yeah.
They had 9 wins.
Yeah, Baltimore, despite having 2 fewer wins, is a road favorite here. It's essentially a pick 'em. It probably will be at game time. 45.5 is the over-under. Honestly, I'm going to give my thoughts really quick. Don't let this Ravens team fool you, though, guys. I mentioned it with the Dallas game. They won 34-17 and ran all over Dallas, but a dropped Hail Mary by CeeDee Lamb at halftime and 3 missed field goals by Greg Zuerlein makes this game have a whole different feel to it. It's a 1-point game at that point. Baltimore, they did crush the Browns 38-6 in week 1 of this season, but that was literally a lifetime ago. Cleveland, they have now won 4 in a row, putting up 41 points on the Titans last week. So in this humongous AFC North matchup, Dr. Wes, give it to us.
As you know, I am a Browns hater. I hate Baker Mayfield. I can't see past that. I believe that the Ravens are a better team. I know that they've looked like crap lately. I know the Browns have looked quite good lately. But in my heart of hearts, I believe that they are not really comparable in terms of talent and that the Ravens are a much better team. And so I'm going to take them.
Taking the Ravens. Jeff?
They're not going to be sleeping on their, division opponent, that's 9-3.
For sure.
I think they're going to come out and blow their barn doors off.
Oh, okay. Jeff, whose barn doors are getting blown off?
Well, I just got a crazy stat for you that I saw the other day. The Browns are undefeated this year when they score more than 7 points. So they've lost 3 games where they've scored under 7 points. I think they have the momentum this time. I don't think the Ravens have quite gelled. They've dealt with a lot of COVID issues. The Browns were kind of overlooked. I agree Baker Mayfield's not the greatest, but when this time of year when the weather gets cold in the north and you've got 2 good running backs, Nick Chubb and
Kareem Hunt.
I'm sorry. Yeah, when you've got 2 good running backs like that, that gives me the confidence to say that they're going to have enough here based on the momentum to keep this thing rolling. And as much as I'm shocked to say it, I never would have thought it early in the year. Give me the Browns here. I picked them on my own last week. They rewarded me, so I'm going with them again.
Okay. So another breaker of ties and a big one. These Sunday and Monday night games are fun. These are going to be good. Where to begin? So I will say I think we know who Lamar Jackson is now. He's a run-first quarterback where if his first read, a.k.a. Mark Andrews, is not wide open across the middle, he's not going to throw the ball very much. Marquise Brown is a speedster where if you don't give Lamar time to catch him on a go route, there's not going to be much there for Marquise Brown. This team, as we've seen, can be run on. I'm referring to the Ravens. We saw with the Patriots game, Damian Harris ran all over them. This running back tandem that Cleveland has can hopefully run all over them. Cleveland, they are 8th best against the run this year, which is what Baltimore arguably does best. This is a huge game for both teams. And again, Jeff, my feelings are with you. I did not expect me to make this pick. I honestly thought I'd be making this pick alone, to be honest. I'm going to take Cleveland. at home.
It feels weird to pick the Browns, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I just think they've got it.
It feels weird picking the Browns when they're 9-3.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time the Browns were this good.
Yeah,
I literally can't. I mean, it had to have been prior to them, the original Browns moving to Baltimore.
Yeah, so I saw this earlier. Cleveland, they are 9-3, and on the season have a minus 15 point differential. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's another crazy stat.
That's the Browns, baby.
This is the Browns season. It doesn't make any sense. They run the ball and hope it works out, unless you're the Titans and you get thrown all over by Baker Mayfield last week. Yeah. It is what it is. Wes on the Pittsburgh-Baltimore Island to close out the week.
I don't understand, Anthony. Why you keep trailing him? I am the leader here. You need to tail me to surpass Jeff.
This is good. Either Jeff and I are going to catch up on you, and we're going to have a really fun last 3 weeks of the year, or you're going to be up by 12 after this week, and it's all for naught. Yeah. All right. Let's go to Survivor. Seattle losing to the Giants last week. What the flying bird shit was that? Seattle's horrible. Either way, who wants to lead off this week?
I'm so glad that you made me not take Seattle last week. That was the one I wanted, and I switched off of them because of you. And then my team wins with a Hail Mary, so it's all good. I'll go first. I'm just going to keep picking against the Jets, and this week it's the Seahawks. They're way better team. Granted, they lost to the Giants last week, but they can't possibly lose to the Jets, right? Yeah, right? Famous last words.
This is a week where I wish I had saved my Seattle pick. I'll go and throw mine out here. So the fact that you took Philly, Dr. West, kind of ruined the mystique of what I wanted to do. You jerk. I looked at this and I was really surprised that neither of us had picked the Saints so far this year. I don't know how we both still had them available, and you obviously do still have them available, which is kind of insane. But yeah, Jeff, who are you going with?
It's kind of tough here, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Green Bay just to be different. I haven't used them, and I think the Lions, not miraculous, but their big win last week was a mirage, and they'll come back down to earth when the Packers come to town.
Three solid picks.
Mirage win.
Yeah. Arguably the top 3 NFC teams we're going with this week, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, any final thoughts on this week that don't involve UK, Jeff? You're lucky I brought you back this week.
I mean, I can't talk too much shit. UC lost Xavier over the weekend, so I'll give you a pass this time. Plus, not to get off topic, college basketball is just gonna be crazy this whole year. So I don't even know why they're what they're trying to do, but good luck to them all. But
did you see that there was a petition to rename the city of Cincinnati Xavier, Ohio?
Oh,
fuck that shit.
Because Xavier.
No. You might as well rename the state of Kentucky Louisville.
That's just rude, sir. No. UK, so many more championships than that horrible team in red.
Patinoville, that would be cool.
I'm moving. I can't. I wouldn't touch that city with a 20-foot pole.
I don't blame you. The STDs alone from the Patinoville.
Oh, from all the prostitutes. Yeah.
Exactly.
What a loser. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching our Week 14 picks. That will do it for this week. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Leave your picks in the comments. Beat Dr. Wes. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be you. You'll get those 2 cards you see on the screen right there dancing around. He wants to get rid of the Palomalu. That's why he made so many horrible picks this week. Jeff and I are going to take this. Hope to see you guys in the next video, and good luck in your fantasy football playoffs this week.
Bring it on, brother.
Good night and good luck.